Okay, so what if every possible decision you have ever made was actually made? I mean, what if the inspiration you're feeling right now in this reality is just an optional choice that another version of you is successfully pulled off in another timeline? Take a second and let that really sink in. It kind of challenges the whole fabric of how we look at our day to day lives, doesn't it? Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a genuinely fascinating speculative framework put together by author Mauricio Suarez. It's this massive exploration of metaphysics, parallel realities, and honestly, the hidden architecture of our own minds. So let's jump right in and explore the concepts he lays out in the Sanctuary edition of The Great Awakening to Intentional Consciousness. But before we get totally lost in these heavy metaphysical weeds, check this out. This newly refined, structured edition is actually arriving on Amazon KDP in the next few days. So, if the stuff we cover in this explainer hits home for you, you are going to be able to grab this edition super soon to explore at your own pace. All right, let's start with the foundation. Section 1, the Consciousness Code, the Foundation of Reality. Here, the author invites us into a framework where consciousness isn't just some random byproduct happening inside our brains. Actually, scratch that, it's bigger. Consciousness is the actual field in which all experience happens. So he defines this term consciousness as the absolute highest form of interdimensional energy. It literally cannot be destroyed, it just transforms into different frequencies. Building on the observer effect in quantum physics, the text suggests that all energy is conscious and it reacts to us. Basically, the entire universe is conscious, and we are actively influencing it right now with our observations and our intentions. And what's really cool is how the author builds this bridge between the ancient and the ultra-modern. On the left, you've got these ancient Vedic teachings from the Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita, which ages ago described a universe completely woven out of consciousness. And then on the right, we've got the language of modern quantum mechanics, stuff like quantum fields and entanglement. The text doesn't treat quantum science as a replacement for that ancient wisdom, but really as a modern reflection of it. Which brings us to Section 2. Doppelgangers and Parallel Realities, Identity Across Dimensions. Let me ask you another question straight from the text. Do we not travel to another dimension when we dream? The author posits that our identity is incredibly fluid and stretches across a massive multiverse. So in this framework, a doppelganger isn't some spooky paranormal twin. Instead, they're individual perspectives of our truest essence, traveling all over parallel realities. They're entangled forms of us, living out different timelines. And the idea is that we can actually sense their energies and learn from what they know. This whole idea plays out in the narrative through 6 specific parallel identities, which are called flares across the multiverse. You've got Alina the Dreamer, John the Skeptic, Sarah the Healer, Leela the Visionary, Diego the Musical Revolutionary, and Nadia the Wise Librarian. Each of them brings this totally unique gift to the table, from quantum-infused music to deep historical wisdom, and together they converge to form a hidden roadmap in the multiverse. But, a great awakening doesn't happen without a little pushback. Section 3 introduces the central conflict, the overlords of deception, the matrix of manipulation. These overlords are essentially symbolic. They represent external societal forces, internal psychological barriers, and these really subtle, systemic patterns that are woven through modern culture. Their whole goal? To distract us, to restrict us, basically to obstruct the Great Awakening and keep humanity boxed into a super limited perception of reality. It's this chaotic mechanism designed specifically to make us forget our entangled, multidimensional nature. But don't worry, the text offers a really profound source of hope. Section 4, Born Aware Starseed Beings, the Antidote to Deception. The author defines these beings as ancient intelligences who manage to slip right through the Matrix's interference. They incarnate here with all their memories completely intact. You know how in those early years of life, most kids slowly lose touch with the unseen? Well, these beings resist that narrowing. They destabilize the matrix of manipulation just by existing. Why? Because an individual who remembers their multidimensional sovereignty simply cannot be controlled by authoritarian systems. They aren't even necessarily leaders. They are literally living proof that consciousness cannot be contained. And this brings us to a really pivotal moment. Section 5. Join the Great Awakening, your role in the multiverse. Here, the author pivots and speaks directly to you. Are you prepared to participate in this immense shift? The framework suggests that because we're all connected on this deep, etheric level, your everyday actions directly shape a multiverse full of love, peace, and prosperity. Now,
Despite all the incredibly vast esoteric concepts we've just talked about, parallel universes, quantum entanglement, overlords, the actual actionable advice the book gives is wonderfully grounded. So how do you participate? Step 1, practice mindfulness. Go spend time in nature and meditate. Step 2, spread kindness. Just perform random acts of kindness, no matter how small they seem. It's a perfect illustration of how high-level consciousness work actually begins with just simple, everyday human goodness.
For those of you feeling the pull to explore this tapestry even further, the author provides a specific roadmap for your own research. He highly recommends looking into concepts under the banners of consciousness is all there is, quantum jumping, and remote viewing. He also suggests looking into setting intentions via the power of 8 and checking out Next Level Soul for tales of journeys way beyond our physical reality. To wrap up our journey through this framework, I want to leave you with a truly empowering quote directly from the book. If this work supported your awakening, your insight becomes part of the field it describes. It leaves us with a really provocative thought to chew on. Simply by reflecting on these concepts today, is your consciousness actively rewriting the universe right now? I hope this explainer sparked your curiosity. Keep questioning the reality around you.